Right, this is a quick insight into the new A3. I'm just going to do a quick walk around this vehicle, show you some of the key features, how to use it. Now this is a saloon and it's also the S-Line model, but a lot of this will apply whichever model in the range you're looking at. So firstly, it's a new style key on this new A3. Just wait for the camera to zoom in there. There we go. So it's keyless start once you get in the car. You still have to press, unless you've got the advanced key option, still have to press the button to unlock the vehicle. This being the saloon booty version, you can see there's a symbol there. Tap twice to open the boot. So that will open automatically. On the hatchback version, it will just release the boot, but obviously you have to manually lift it. Spare wheel is an option on these. You do have the inflation kit as standard. Locking wheel nut there. That's part of the solution for the inflation kit. And tool kits, a wheel brace, screwdriver, etc. So there is actually a mount there for spare wheel, so that is something you can option. A little hook to hold the boot floor up, and you can see you've got your latching points on all four corners. A little LED light just there. Warning triangle is just underneath there, and then there is a handy handle to just pull the boot back down. Car's unlocked. Fuel filler cap just opens there. And again, locking the car to ensure that's locked. Back of the vehicle, you've got window controls, isofix point on the two rear seats. There's also a vent in the back, so it isn't temperature controlled. That's done by the overall temperature of the vehicle. A new addition to the A3 is this fold down armrest with the two integrated cup holders. Also, just going to try and push this here. You do have a load through access, which is very handy, and then the two seats will also split, so it's can't think of the denomination of that, 40/40/20. Yeah. Another nice little touch is these new design door handles on the A3, look very smart. So the exterior of the car. Oh, on that note, let's just have a quick walk around. The LED headlights are standard on the S-Line model. Notice on all Audis there's no longer a separate fog light, it's all integrated into the actual headlights. So that gets something that's mentioned quite a lot, but the fog light's actually an all-weather light, which is an integral part of the headlamp. And there's a little sensor there for the part of the pre-sense, which also works alongside the camera on the windscreen there. Light sensor for things like auto lights, rain sensor, etc, etc. Folding mirrors is now standard on these cars as well. Okay, so back to some of the controls. So like I said, there is a sort of keyless entry. So there's a little pull-out key, and in the emergency, if the battery is flat, you can just pop off this cover, and there's conventional key locks just underneath, which I'm not going to pull off for now. Inside of the driver's door, you've got your mirror controls. So you just toggle up, down, left and right, twist it to the mirror you want to adjust. And at sort of 7 o'clock there, you've got the folding mirrors and heated mirror. So just a quick note on that, if you want the heated mirrors to be engaged, If that needs to be pointing to that, and then when you put the rear window demister on, it will ensure that the heating mirrors engage. Window controls there, and then you've got your child lock options there, which isolate the rear window switches and also the rear door lock. I'll show you underneath the bonnet. Bonnet release is just again on the driver's side, so normally the same thing without this. And going to the front of the car, always look for the middle of the badge. There's a little lever that just pushes to the left hand side, just there. And again, not a lot to be worrying about in here. You've got oil check and oil fill cap just there. This car does connect to the My Audi app, which will show you things like oil level, fuel level, lock on unlock status, and location. This is probably the only reason you'll open the bonnet, is to put the washer fluid in. There are some fuses kept there. Battery. Depending on the model or engine of the car, I should say, battery's either located here or on some like the S3, it's located in the boot. So on the seats you've got height adjustment on the right hand side. This is on the ratchet, so pull up to adjust seat up, push down for down. That knob twists to adjust the backrest. Again, this being the S line, it's got the integrated headrest, but if it is a sport or other model Technique, headrest actually lifts up and down just on there. You've got this lever that adjusts the tilt of the base of the seat. Again, it's on the ratchet up and down, and the lever just there to pull the seat forwards and backwards. So also you can just see on the camera there, that pulls out the thigh support. Light switch is automatic on here. You can override that. Put the side lights on manually or turn them off completely. Rear fog light, and then the front fog lights or all-weather lights are operated just there. This is quite cool. It's got a little proximity sensor, so when your hand gets closer to it, you'll see it light up before you touch it. It says right, so let's jump in the car. So another thing that's standard on the A3 is the new technology, the virtual cockpit, which used to be an option part of the technology pack on the previous vehicles, and the new touchscreen. So firstly, your main controls, you've got indicators just on the side there, and that also controls the main beam lights. And then I can't get my words out, another little symbol. Just wait for the camera to try and focus on that there. There we go. Is this button here for lane assist. So me pressing that, you'll see there's a little symbol just underneath the revometer, which will come and go with that. It's not controlled at the moment. But yeah, this car's again with the camera that's just hidden behind the mirror. It's got something called lane assist, so it looks at the white lines. If you veer across the white line, this engages over 40 miles an hour, by the way. So if you veer across the white line, you'll feel the subtle nudge on the steering, which puts you back into lane. If that's something you don't want on, you can just press that, and the little symbol will disappear off the underneath the revometer just there. Wipers are automatic, so if you leave that one click up, that will engage your automatic wipers. 2 click for constant, 3 for fast. Pull it towards you to squirt water out the front. If this was a hatchback, you push it towards the dash and it squirt water out the rear, but this hasn't got a rear wiper because it's a saloon. Also, and I'll just show you that, so at the front of the car, if you just by your door handle, you have got the lock and unlock buttons. So when your car drives over 10 miles an hour, the door will automatically lock. If you want to let someone in from outside, just press the unlock button just there. Now onto the main screen, I'm just going to pull this cover off so we can see a little bit clearer. So this is a new design language of Audi. It's all very intuitive, very easy to use. Radio, for example, it's all touchscreen. Excuse me, we've got our COVID safe rubber gloves on at the moment, so it makes the touchscreen a little bit less responsive, but even still you can see it's really responding well. So you literally just scroll through and click on the radio station you want. To adjust the volume, you've got two ways. As a driver, you can use that roller just there, or on the passenger side you've got this touch sensitive control panel here. So you can see at the top there you've got power, mute, skip forward, skip back, or next station, and then you literally just scroll around to adjust the volume. So that's pretty cool. Under each option there's always a sub menu, so when I press the volume you can see the little setup comes, and you can adjust things like bass, treble, balance, etc. If you have the upgraded comfort and sound pack with a Bang & Olufsen sound system, you can then adjust the surround sound effects, 3D effect, subwoofer, etc, etc. Let's just go back to home. Media, again, is to connect to your phone or USB inputs. There's no longer a CD player in these cars. The old one used to have a CD player in the glove box, but that's deleted, so it's literally just USB-C, which is a new high-speed one there, USB-B, or Bluetooth. You can just change the source by pressing that. Telephone, pretty self-explanatory. To connect your phone, this you just click on that, make sure your Bluetooth's open on your phone, and away you go. Back to home. Navigation. So the sat nav system, again, is very intuitive to use. You can adjust the map, sort of the angle, or you can pinch in and out to adjust the zoom. That little button always takes you back to like that standard view. So for search, so there's two ways of doing this. You can either type in on the keyboard, or the much cooler way to do this is to use the actual touchscreen writing pad. So we can literally just go
B-I-R.
So it's worked out I'm trying to type in Birmingham, and just click on the destination. Let's say it's Birmingham Road we want to go to. Set as destination. Start, and away you go.
The route is being calculated.
I'll skip through that page quickly then, but you also seen an option that came up which was parking, so you can search for local parking places, sorry, in the locality. The other way the search function works on this is it's kind of Google based, so you could search for I don't know, let's say if you wanted to go to a chip shop,
C-H-I-P.
oh, it came up there, you see. So hard to write in these gloves.
S-H-O-P.
And they come up with local chip shops or restaurants or whatever you want to search for, which is quite handy. So if you're out of area, again, it will bring up parking. On some things, if that's lit up, details, it will take you into additional information, things like Yelp reviews, which can be quite handy. And again, you can find out if you're somewhere that's quite a drive away, it'll tell you what the weather's like in the locality. Again, press start on there.
The route is being calculated.
It's going to calculate that route. Now on our centre console on our virtual cockpit, again, let me just pull this off here so you can see what's going on. The sat nav's come in the centre screen there. Now if I press view, they'll extend out and populate the whole screen. And similar to our other models like the Q2, the old A3, these buttons here control what's in the centre screen. So at the minute we're at the blue tab at the top. You've got telephone, media, so that's your music. That tells you if there's anything wrong with the car, so the minute it's low on fuel. And then things like miles per gallon, consumption, etc, etc. Press view always takes us back to a conventional view, but you can still change the information in the middle there and all I'm doing is just pressing these buttons. So blue one is for sat nav, and just by pressing view you can see it extends out to the whole virtual cockpit, which is really cool. If we just on normal car data, you can still see I'm getting my key information, satellite navigation information displayed there in the middle of the revometer. So that's telling me to go straight. If there's a roundabout, tell you which exit, etc, etc. Just while we're on this, we've got temperature gauge just on the left hand side, so it's the water temperature of the car, and then fuel gauge on the right hand side. Always tells you at the top how many miles of fuel are left, so 40 miles, but it's in reserve red at the moment. P just underneath that tells you that the handbrake's on. If the car's equipped with auto hold, when you put your foot on the brake you'll see a green P, and then the red P appears once you press the actual handbrake button just there. Just while we're on the handbrake will automatically disengage as long as your seatbelt is on. If you want to disengage the handbrake without your seatbelt, you have to put your foot, so it tells you there when you try and do it, if you press the button without that, put your foot on the brake and the handbrake will disengage. This car's a manual, so 6 speeds, push down all the way to the left to engage reverse. You got your push button start just there. So back to the main screen. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because it could be a complete video on its own really, but it's very self-explanatory. Phone apps, you've got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, so literally just plug your phone in, it will appear there. Cars where you can change a few of the different bits and pieces or options of the vehicle. So drive select, I'll show you that in a moment, it's a separate button for that there. Parking age, you can adjust the tone of the parking sensors, front and rear, or the camera, the way that interacts if it's got a camera. And lights and vision, again you can change things like background lighting. This is standard S-Line, so it's just got ambient background lighting, which you can't really see in this light at the moment. But if it had comfort sound pack or extended LED light pack, you could change the colours, the contours around the doors. There's little lines that go along these doors and different colour, washer colour in the footwells and in the centre console there, so that's really nice. Just come back out of that. Back to home, so settings, again it's a bit more in depth. You could go to the settings of the actual system itself. I'm not going to go into that just now, but this bit's important. Users, so you need that to connect to your My Audi app. So you go to add user, enter your My Audi account, it'll ask for a few more details. You'll then get to a stage where it'll ask for the vehicle code or MTAN. That's on your white tag, which should be attached to your spare key. Yeah, and that will allow your car to fully connect to your phone, so you can unlock it from your phone, see where your car's parked, etc, etc. And you can see you've got these extra bits here: news, weather, again pretty self-explanatory, but you could search for, look at the weather in your locality or somewhere else and get the news read out to you as well, so that's pretty cool. Right, this panel just underneath is your air conditioning. So it's dual zone climate control on this. If it's Technique model, this panel will look a little bit different, but it's still button controlled and the principle's fairly similar. So you've got passenger control there, and these little tabs, this is all covered up, so let's just pull that off so you can see this in a little bit more detail. So these tabs literally click up and down, so that's adjusting the passenger side temperature, driver side. Fan speed is just there. You can decide whether it's on max, eco, aircon on or aircon off. Easiest way, what I always do is just set my temperature and then press auto. It'll blow the air out whichever direction to achieve that temperature as quick as possible. And then if you press sync, it'll synchronise the two temperatures side by side. That switches the system off. That's for your front window demist, rear window demister there, and that's automatic recirculation. Buttons just underneath that, you've got drive select. So this affects the way the steering feels, the way the throttle responds. If it's automatic, it affects the way the gears change as well. So you've got 4 different modes: dynamic, comfort, auto, and then individual. Under individual you can customize that, so you might prefer the dynamic driving style, so the more responsive accelerator, but the lighter comfortable steering, so you can change it, chop and change it to your personal taste. Button next to that is the traction control. If I press that, you'll see a little symbol come on the dash there to tell you if it's on or off. You see the yellow symbol next to the lights just there. And then stop start, that tells you if the system's activated or deactivated. Next to that is your hazard lights. Just going underneath, you've got 2 cup holders, armrest which is adjustable, so it pulls in and out, and it's on the ratchets. You can adjust the height, so make sure it's in perfect condition for you, or position I should say. On the top of the roof you've got your map reading lights. Also this new A3, because it has got the My Audi or the online services, you've got SOS button just there, and also the breakdown assist button. If this button's lit, it means the lights will come on when you open the door, and then this will turn the interior lights on in the whole car. That's beeping because I haven't closed the door properly, and the ignition's on. Let's turn that off. So yeah, it's a really brief, I won't say brief, but it's a quick insight into the A3 interior, some of the features, how it works. While the camera's just pointing now, it's one thing I always forget to show. These are height adjustable, the seat belts. So always remember to try and get that in the correct position, just makes your journey a bit more comfortable. And underneath here we have got height adjustment for the steering wheel, so that's reach and height up and down. Oh sorry, I didn't show you this. Here we got the cruise control function just here as well. So how that works, once you hit your desired speed, just press set. Let's put our ignition on just to show you. So yeah, once you hit your desired speed, press set. You'll see an icon just appear underneath that car one there. And then you can tap it up and down to adjust the speed. Push it towards the dash, that switches the system off. That switches it on. You can also set a speed limiter, which again is adjusted just on there. Voice control, phone. If you press the voice control once, it activates the Audi internal system. Let's see what she says. Nothing at the moment.
I'm sorry, there was a technical problem.
Okay, and then if your phone's connected, Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, because we haven't gone through the privacy control, but Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, if you press and hold it, it will actually fire up Siri or Hey Google. So yeah, hope that gives you a brief insight into the features of the new A3. Like I say, your model might be slightly different, but the bulk of information is fairly similar, but you're more than welcome to contact me if you do have any questions on how anything works. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye bye.